Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 4 of the SplitScreen Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Garcia. Today I'm joined by my lovely cousin, amazing guy, JD. JD, how are we doing today?
Oh, dude, that was a pretty good intro.
Thank you. I worked hard on it.
Practiced like 3 times before we actually
I know. That's what happens when I'm never sure of myself. So, JD, for those of you who don't know him in person, IRL, he's an avid gamer like myself. We basically grew up playing games together a lot.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like the classics.
Yes.
Mario Kart. You got your Smash Bros. You got your Star Fox.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness.
You name it. We even delved into the Genesis at some points. And I can't tell you how many hours we've played Split Screen Halo 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And Gears and all those games. We grew up just playing games, having fun. Somehow down the road, it led to this moment here. This is a culmination of what's happened so far.
It's intense.
I know, right? I tell a great story. So, thanks for tuning in, everybody, to the Split Screen Podcast. I hope you're having a lovely day so far. We're here to discuss games and anything gaming related. Just to make a quick point, I don't know why you would, but there's so many podcasts out there that have been started. What do you say, the past 5 years?
Oh,
maybe
yeah,
10,
sure.
maybe 10.
It's become normalized in the last 4 years.
For sure. And especially with everything going on the past year, everybody staying home, I can't tell you probably how many podcasts have been started just by people at home, like you and me.
Yeah.
But they had the jump way ahead of us. So you're probably thinking, why would you listen to this, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what
But I don't know. We're just here to have fun. We're here to discuss games, and we're here to have a good time, kind of get away from everything a little bit. So we hope you guys enjoy. We don't do this for the fame or the money or anything. We're just having fun.
We're here to spin a yard.
We're here to go on a journey and to discuss memories, what's happening now, what might happen in the future, discuss favorites, everything.
We're just two bros who like gaming, you know. That's kind of the long and short of it.
Exactly. So, and we would love to discuss this with everyone that listens to us. So, that's a good segue into plugging our socials, I think. Right? It sounds okay to me. If you guys like what you hear and you want to follow us on our socials, we have Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're on Facebook at Split Screen Podcast. Instagram and Twitter are at SplitScreenKC. You can tweet us, message us, whatever you like. Give us a follow, where you can suggest topics, ask us questions, or if you just want to say hello. So we check it all the time. I can't get rid of this. But our topics for the day are as follows. Topic number 1 is we're going to be discussing and comparing first-person games and third-person games. Now, when we say first-person, we're not talking about just first-person shooters, but we'll probably be mostly talking about that. Third-person doesn't have to be a shooter again. It can be maybe an RPG. I don't know. But we're going to be discussing the differences and similarities, if we can think of any. And then after that, we're going to talk about the modding community and the things that we would like to see and things that they do for us.
Well said, C-Money. Well
said. Thank you very much. I've never been called I've done the first 2 episodes by myself, so I've never been called C-Money, so maybe that...
You know what?
People will be calling me that.
Pardon me. I should have asked.
No, that's fine. It's fine. That goes back to high school. I'm used to it by now.
You can call me JonnySpells.
JonnySpells.
No one else does.
So, not even your girlfriend calls you JonnySpells?
No.
No. Hey, JonnySpells, I need help with this in the bedroom. Well, okay, I didn't mean to take it that.
Listen here, sir. I did not come here to be berated.
Okay, well, anyway, so let's get into the first topic.
Sick man.
First topic is first-person versus third-person video games. So we actually have, you guys can't see this, but we have a giant whiteboard.
It's pretty big.
And it's not even as big as it can be.
Yeah.
I feel like we could get one as big as my wall over there. But first point is, and this is something that I think we can talk about for quite a while, is the way the field of view is presented. So
oh, for sure, yeah.
So like for instance, first person, you just see it from the point of view of who you're playing as, right?
First person.
It's in first person. Wow. Third person, for those of you who don't know,
Took an English class.
For those of you who don't know what third person is, that's when the camera is behind your player and you're free to move it around your character. You can look behind him, you can look in front of him. Your character won't move, just the camera. Is that a good way of describing?
Yeah, pretty good. It's an outside view.
It's an outside view, yes. So let's take this into account. Let's say you're playing. What's your favorite FPS right now? You said Star Wars. No.
Oh man, Battlefront 2 is the thing I'm playing. Remake is the thing I'm playing the most.
Would you say you play it more in third or first person?
It's more played in a third person view, just because how much easier it is to get a field of view and like see everything around you. But that's how the classic Battlefront was. And then Call of Duty is more of the first person side of things. A little more fast paced. It's one of those games that just could not work in third person view.
Right.
Yeah.
And let's say I don't know. It's kind of funny to think about. Let's put Call of Duty in a third person perspective.
Okay.
That's not really a cover based. Would you? I mean, Star Wars isn't.
It's become more of a cover. It's mainly since everybody's in first person view.
Yeah.
It's more like hiding around corners is a lot easier, because you'll notice that if you're in a first person view, looking around a corner is like a death sentence. Basically, like, have you ever tried like getting close to a wall? You should go back and like at a far from the wall and sort of go at an angle. That's the best way to be able to see without being seen. But if you're up against a wall and trying to look around, you're toast. And then I'd say if you were in a third person game like Battlefront or Gears, you would not have that problem, because you could just hug the wall and then turn the camera to look around it. And so that's kind of the big FOV difference we have between these titans.
I will say
gameplay.
One similarity of gameplay is this:
guns.
Well, yes, the guns, but also, I've noticed in third person over the years, and I never used this strategy when I was playing Gears at first, was people, like, if it's a piece of cover where you could stand instead of being crouched, I don't even, unless I don't know, it depends on the camera angle, but I don't even, if it's on the right side of the cover, I don't mantle against the wall. Because you can see around the corner already. You might as well just stand, so if somebody comes around the corner, instead of having to stand up and blind fire or whatever, they just come around the corner, you can turn barely and blast them. So you basically face directly into the wall, and if you see somebody coming, then you blast them as they come around the corner. It's just hilarious, because if that was a first-person point of view, you would just be looking directly into the wall, and you wouldn't be able to see around the corner.
You would.
So it's really funny to think about that aspect.
It's fun, but like both are very fun in their own different ways, and I feel like that's what's very interesting about gaming, especially something as mundane as like where the positioning of the camera is.
Yeah.
Like Gears of War is so fun because you're making strategies on right now. Like, we need to make decisions right now, because I know they're definitely going to try and like hug the wall directly at me right then the same time I am. So am I going to hang back, go the opposite way around this center, this center island? But first person, no, it's like running and gunning constantly. You're always like on the move. It's not too, there's strategy, but it's not like I'm looking at my enemy right now from a top view.
Yes.
And I'm just trying to work around them. It's mainly like, oh man, I just slid past this wall, looked to the right, and blasted him from prone. Yeah, and then it's just so different. It's so fun, and these are separate ways.
And that brings up a point. So let's say it's an objective-based game, right?
Yeah.
So let's put it as I don't know. Let's say we'll say King of the Hill, okay? First person, King of the Hill.
Halo.
Right.
Yeah.
You can see them because they're probably so. Okay, so let's say there's pieces of cover in the hill that give you at least a little bit of an advantage of defending it.
For sure.
I would say that first person and third person would be different kind of game planning for that situation. So, for instance, I'm sure people are going to get tired of me bringing this up, but on Call of Duty or Halo, if it was you can hide behind pieces of cover in first person, and they wouldn't be able to see you behind the cover, right? Because it's first person, unless they're taking an angle or whatever. Third person, usually if you find a piece of cover close to the zone, you'll be able to see where people are because you can angle the camera differently. So you can strategize. It leads to a different kind of strategizing, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because, one, maybe you can't see everybody on the hill, versus if you take a piece of cover by the hill and angle it correctly, you might be able to see everybody and where they are, so you know you can game plan a little bit better.
I think King of the Hill is a very underutilized gameplay mechanic, and it's gameplay. It's very. I haven't played it really since Halo, which was like a couple of years ago, when I sort of fell off the Halo train. But I think it could be utilized in so many other games. Like for first person, like you said, it's generally first person, right? Mm-hmm. They have it in Call of Duty. They have, I believe they have it in Gears, or have had it in Gears at some point.
Yeah, I think they have.
I think it's just such a cool idea. Like first person's great. You can't always see what's around you. Like that's the whole fun about first person. Sometimes like what is in like outside my field of view.
Yeah. With
the third person, it's got to be better for like a horde mode, and I think that's where Gears mainly came in. Like third person King of the Hill is basically horde mode. Mm-hmm. Am I wrong? And I feel like Gears horde mode is one of the best like game modes to me. Like for a third person, it's just like
I agree.
Like let's hold out as much as we can, and it's cool because there's so like with the greater field of view. Like okay, we can see whoever's coming pretty easily. So let's like offset that with a lot of stuff coming at you at once. Yeah. And that's what's so fun about Gears. Like I'm down. Like our 4-man squad's like I'm down. Come get me. There's like 2 boomers like right next to me. It's like okay, sorry man. Sorry, you're toast.
Yeah.
That's where Jack comes in. Your boy.
Yes.
That's my main.
Dude, Jack is clutch.
He's my favorite since get go. Like I loved him even in like the beta.
Yeah,
like, I fell in love. I have no talent really for Gears in general, but like for Jack, I'm just an OP, like MVP. Pardon me for bragging. Challenge me anytime. But let's again take Battlefront into perspective on this. A lot of the gameplay for like the characters for them are pretty simple. There's a standard infantry assault. There's heavy. A little sturdier, like a lot more firepower. We got sniper, which is a specialist, and I believe we have an officer, which can have turrets. Now that alone sets up the perfect dynamic for a horde mode. Yet there is not one in Battlefront. I'm hoping, again, I'm praying right now. This is me on my knees. I want Battlefront 3 to really be the thing that drags Star Wars into the light again. Because I want
3?
Battlefront 3.
Okay.
I'm calling it. This is going to be Battlefront 3, and they better have, like, skins. They better have, like, more interchangeable play, better game modes. I love it. Believe me. I love Star Wars in all of its facets, but imagine having, like, a giant minigun, which is a power that the heavies have.
Yeah.
Pulling out this minigun going... yeah, just, like, mowing down a bunch of, like droids or something, like a horde mode, man. That sounds great on King of the Hill. Like, let's hold this.
That'd be amazing.
Oh my gosh, how many times has that been a trope in like what, the Clone Wars series or something?
Yep.
It's been there. It's been around.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, give it to me. Come on.
They showcase the scenario all the time in other media until it comes to the games, and which is another good point. Depending on what form the game is in, third person or first person, do you think that affects?
Yes.
That affects.
Just yes.
Yes, everything. Do you think that affects what game modes are put into a game?
100%. That's why the first person doesn't have many, I feel, horde modes. I mean, like the closest thing to horde mode is Nazi zombies. If that's still what it's called, or just called zombies.
I think it's just called zombies now.
Okay, pardon me. I want to be politically correct.
Yeah, well, I know that World War II was called Nazi zombies again.
They were technically Nazis. But
they were actually Nazis.
So these ones are just zombies.
These ones are just zombies. If anything, they're like USSR zombies or something. I don't know.
So, what would be the name for that? Is it just USSR zombies or Russian zombies?
I get I guess. I think they're just going with zombies.
Well, anyway, that's whatever the nomenclature. They the closest thing to horde mode I feel like they have is like zombies is like the sort of like the most popular thing I could think of. I can't really think of anything else at the moment. I'm sure there is at least one or two, but with a lack of a field of view, it's more like it's not like let's hold out. I feel because like if they're coming from multiple places, your field of view is going to be very limited, which might be a little too offset. You know.
Yeah.
Even with like a 4-man squad or what have you. It sounds like a cool idea. Like I want like an 8-man squad versus like an entire horde holding like a wall or something, like Left 4 Dead style.
Yeah,
Left 4 Dead is one.
Exactly.
That is a first-person view, and they do pretty much have like horde modes. I guess that's one. That is one.
Survival mode.
Yeah, survival. It's like holding out. Yeah, as long as you're holding out against something, waves and such. That's pretty much just a horde mode. So that's another one. But I feel like it's definitely different with a third person. I feel like it's meant mainly for a third person, at least from my point of view. Just because like you have a wider range of view, you can definitely like make some strategies with your like, oh, okay, I'm seeing off the left side of my camera. I'm trying to mow these guys here who are trying to come up the stairs, but I can see them kind of coming from the left. Could you take care of that? So you know.
And you know what's funny too is, and this is just. I don't know why I'm bringing this up, but whenever I'm in first person, does this ever happen to you where you're trying to peek around the corner in first person, and then you find yourself in real life trying to peek around that corner? Like, you tilt your head a little bit in real life?
Personally, I am transported whenever I game. I don't know about any of you else who are just, like, super into games sometimes, but that's, like, me all the time. If I'm playing a game, my physical body doesn't exist, my man. I'm sorry. I don't move. I don't do anything.
Yeah.
Like, you can... I've had times where the cat just like jumped on my shoulder. I'm like, all right. I didn't even notice it. Just like, all right. I am just in the game, man.
Yeah. Especially when you have a headset on and you have... you can hear your surroundings. And that does play a crucial role in games, but I guess that's a different point altogether. But I remember when I was playing zombies with Mark the other day, I was trying to peek around the corner. I don't know why. I think something was shooting at us. One of the soldats or one of those bastards that shoots explosions, whatever the hell it is.
Grenadier.
I was looking around the corner in the game, and I found myself tilting my head trying to look around a real life corner, like as if I was actually there. And I don't know if that's a good sign.
Did it work?
No, unfortunately, it did not work. I don't know if that's a good sign or not. I mean, I guess that means I'm into the game I'm playing, but
focused.
So, what would you say in terms of Battlefront? Because you can play it in both ways. Okay, here's a question. I'm going to ask you two. First one is, which do you use more, first or third?
I've only exclusively used third person for Battlefront. For one, it's because I like to look at my character. I love Star Wars. That's why I like seeing myself as a stormtrooper, just kind of like playing the role, But it's also from a gameplay perspective. It's a lot easier to play third person. I believe we pretty much already touched on it, but like first person, it's different. It's just the gameplay is just opposite ends, because like you're just I've actually today tried it out for about 30 minutes. I played first person to give it a try, and it's hard to get a good handle on what's around you, like your environment. Like that's a big change. And that's where the third person really shines, That's why the survivors in Dead by Daylight are so much, they're so easy to maneuver around the killer, because the killer is
first person,
has tunnel vision. They can only see in first person, like what they can see like directly in front of their character. But if you're third person, you're elevated. You can move it in a greater radius, the camera, so you can sort of strategize how to get around them. You can see them; they can't see you. Yeah, and that's just that's cut and dry. It's how and that's actually the perfect game to describe it.
I was gonna say I'm
the
really
big
glad
defining
you brought that
factor. Yeah, it's So just give. I mean, honestly, if you gave the killer like a semi-automatic weapon, he'd win. Probably most of the time, but he's got that third person. We got the third person camera survivors like wheeling and dealing on him because he can't find him.
Yeah, and I'm really glad you brought that up, because I totally forgot that that's how it worked.
Semi-auto.
So that's no, the first person versus third person. But yeah, that's a really good point. That's basically how it evens out itself. Yeah. Like aside from the 4v1, but
I won't call third person superior, but we literally got we got 4 people wheeling and dealing around one.
Yeah.
Killer.
But we'll say, and I'll give credit to the people who are just excellent killers because it can be pretty hard.
It's very difficult.
Given the limitations of what they're given to work with.
If you had a 1v1, which happens, it's pretty even still. It can be. Like, the only real difference of that makes it hard to really calculate is that the killer is going to be faster, travel speed, than the survivor. If they had equal speeds, if they had all this, and the only difference was really the camera, I think they'd be in favor of the third person camera because you just got a better field of view. That's plain and simple.
And I'll say this: another benefit to the third person is. And this kind of goes back to what I was talking about earlier with facing the wall, essentially. As first person, if you want to check your surroundings, you got to look. Like, you got to physically look around.
Takes so much time, yeah.
And that'll take up time, and not only that, but you're not going to see what's around the corner or anything like that, as opposed to... And basically, when you're checking your surroundings, wherever you're not looking, that's where you're up to basically get a shot in the ass or whatever. Third person, if I just hug a wall and I want to check my surroundings, I can do that pretty quickly and get a way better sense of what's around me and where I am, and still have my character be in the position to where if I notice something last second, he's ready to act on it and he's not in any more danger than what he was before. So it's I guess you can say that you're enabled a quicker response time and reaction time. So let's say I get hit in first person, I better turn around quick enough or I'm probably going to be dead. As opposed to third person, where if I put myself in the position to face where I think danger is going to come from, and then and put myself in a good enough position to where I can act on it and still feel safe enough to check my surroundings. That way if something happens, I can just flick it back to where I need to, and then my character's already in position. Sometimes you just need to pull the trigger and that's it. So I don't know. Third person, when you think about it, seems better, but I'm sure there's a lot of benefits to first person.
I like first person for fast paced because a lot of the third persons are mainly. I don't know. It's mainly like trying to outmaneuver. It's not really like let's run and get through this like gun. Like I think a good example would be that Titanfall. Like Titanfall is like during multiplayer is very when you're not in Titan. It's very quick paced. Like you're constantly sliding, jumping, doing all this, and you can have a high sensitivity to sort of off, so to sort of like counteract the whole like I can't see a lot around me. A lot of like many people playing like super high sensitivities. I'm more of a low sensitivity, but like that's just me. It's mainly for aiming, I guess. Whatever, I'm a casual, but but I think it's really first person is phenomenal for fast paced like. On the move games like Call of Duty and Titanfall, because if you're on the move constantly, it keeps you on your toes. It makes you feel like more of a badass a little bit.
That's true. Yeah,
I think like when I'm Call of Duty and I'm just running around, I'm sliding past things, and I just like get the old shotgun, and like I'm looking up at them, looking at their like hey, what's up? You know how this is gonna go, bang, and then I immediately get up, start sprinting off. Like I wouldn't do that in like. Really in like Battlefront or anything. That's more like I'm gonna sort of hold my position a little bit, move around a bit, and I'm just trying and outmaneuver the person. But Call of Duty is more like it's whoever's quicker, whoever's like it's better for running and gunning, I think.
So
Left 4 Dead's a good example for me. It's like you're just constantly running and gunning. I think on a third person it'd be a lot different because like it has like it adds a little surprise element.
And I think one thing I will say that is better in first person to me than third person is when you're up close and personal in a close range engagement, first person is probably gonna it's going to be easier.
More accurate, yeah.
You're way more accurate that way, as opposed to third person, where it seems like if you're just a little bit off, then you're not going to get the kill right away.
I guess it just kind of comes with the territory, because when you're in third person view, you're not looking directly down anything. You're looking at it from a top view, which is better for like strategizing, I guess, or just kind of seeing what's around you. But like if you want like accuracy, just kind of like that tape trick that people have for Call of Duty.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
You just kind of tape on the thing. Like, you couldn't do that really in third person.
No, you can't.
I don't think you could. I haven't personally tried it, but, like, I don't think you could.
I don't think it would be the same.
And so that's kind of like, I guess, the other drawback is that you're more accurate as a first-person shooter, maybe. Could be.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We'll have to experiment on that.
Oh, but you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to put in for, let's put RPGs out here. I want to put some RPG vibes into this.
Okay.
Is that I feel like that's best for third person. You know,
RPGs? I agree with that. Mm-hmm.
Knights of the Old Republic. Just want to let you all know what I'm about. It's pretty much just that. Yeah.
Do you remember
Dragon Age? Oh yeah.
What would World of Warcraft be? Would that be top down or would that be?
No, it's not top.
Is that third person?
It was a top down. It was like a real time strategy.
Yeah.
At first, and then became a MMO, which is a third person. Like, in that game, you can have your view super close to you. Like, you can have it right behind your, like, back if you want. But, like, that's the thing. Whenever you watch, like, people playing it, they have, like, it way out there. So you can just see, like, the littlest vague recollection of a person. And that's so you can see everything around you, you know? You can get a better view of everything. Yeah. It's more exciting to play. Like, I play Skyrim with, like, a 3D... I usually only play it with first person. That's for game... Like, because it's easier... to fight. It's more accurate. But if I want more of like a vibe, like a feel, I play third person. I keep it like right behind myself. Or like way out there so I can just see what's going on.
Did you ever play a game?
Oh, you know, pardon me for interrupting. I do use the third person, like when I'm on like those like Skyrim or Oblivion. I switch to third person whenever I want to look around or remember when I first started playing, I went to third person view when I wanted to look around a corner, but I didn't want to look around the corner.
Yeah.
So that's another use of it, which I kind of felt was for RPG /
Okay.
Yeah.
And have you ever played a game called Chivalry?
Oh yeah.
It was like medieval.
Yeah, for
warfare.
sure. I had
that was also first person and third person.
It was, and I had the third. I had the Deadliest Warrior one, which was insane.
I remember that one. Yeah.
Had the pirates and stuff. Really fun. It was. I played it in first person mainly. I think it was just because it was easier to like, you know, what's that one game called? For Honor.
For Honor, yeah.
That's very similar to they're very similar games, very similar. But I think the big difference is the third person versus first person, because I feel like Chivalry is best played in a first person because you can sort of react quicker. Like, you can block quicker. You can aim better.
Excuse me.
Without it, you're just swinging with a battle axe in Skyrim on third person, which is kind of all you can do in third person.
Yeah.
And then For Honor was like a lock-on top view, so you can sort of watch their movements rather than really think about your... Because it's not like aim and click. It's mainly like, where am I attacking from? Am I attacking from top right down, top left down, sweeping across? Like, you don't really need to aim first person style for that. You just need like a general vague idea of where they are, and that's why I think third person works best for them.
So we're gonna name. I'll have you name anyway, because people know what I'm gonna say, but I want to know what you would say.
Is it Star Fox?
No.
Damn.
You know, that's funny. Did you play Star Fox Adventures?
I did with you when we were kids a little bit, like not a lot.
That's third person then, right?
Third person is anything that's behind you, like looking in at your character.
So that is third person. So third person, you know, I missed that game. I think that's the bottom line.
Adventures?
that's a very underrated game.
Was that the one with the purple fox?
Yes, Crystal. That was where they introduced Crystal, yeah. Yeah,
that's right. I forgot Crystal, like the one that started the furry movement.
Oh man.
Sorry to all your furry friends subscribers out there.
It was terrible. Anyway, so your favorite FPS, what would you say?
My favorite first-person shooter?
Yes, of all time.
Now, can it be one that played in third person?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, I'm saying if there's first-person games out there that aren't necessarily shooters, but if we're talking first-person shooters, you know what? I'd really have to give it to probably Battlefront right now. Like classic Battlefront, I feel like no one can touch that. For me, that's just the most replayable. I replay it to this day. I've been playing it for like a decade now, like maybe longer.
I think
it came out in 2000. The second remake. Oh no, sorry. The second classic one came out in 2004, right?
Yes.
So it's
almost 2 decades.
Yeah, so I've been playing it for as long as it's been out, and I have not played any other game probably more as I've played that. And I even played it when I wasn't really into Star Wars. I was just like, man, this is a really fun game. Like, it's so simple, yet what's so interesting is that it rarely turns out exactly the same. Like, you just play it and just casually turn it off if you want. I'm like, I'm done for right now. But I'll pick it up 5 minutes later.
You know what's funny? Is here's some
the
context
heroes.
on something.
Oh, man.
So, horror games.
Mm.
Would you say that a majority of them are first person?
It's definitely there as a device, to make you feel more into it. Like when you have a first person, you feel more like drawn into the game. I feel that's what kind of needs to happen. Like if you need to like feel like you're in it, and there's no better way to do that than first person.
Right. Because I think third person, since you can see so much, it kind of takes away from the fear a little bit.
A little bit. It disassociates you from the actual character.
Yeah, I would say. So I think first person is definitely not only more popular in the horror field, especially with games like Outlast and Alien Isolation. Those are both first person because you feel like you're there sometimes, especially if you have a headset on and if you're ballsy enough to do that, which I tried one time and nearly shat myself.
Yeah, honestly, I've never been too big on the horror genre. I like...
Oh, yeah.
I remember I was just such a big baby. I could not play. I was like, oh no, I don't want to go down that hall.
Yeah, it's terrifying. You should try Outlast too. It's on Game Pass.
Outlast?
You should try
Outlast.
You should. I was thinking about installing it on my laptop actually. That's another day. So
I think if the gameplay's right, I'll like any horror. Like Dead by Daylight, insanely fun. But it's mainly because I think there's some personal building and strategy that goes around. I love anything that has to do with building your character up.
Yes.
And Dead by Daylight's just that, because you can customize your character or killer to suit how you want to play. And I think when it comes to other games, I think I just don't want to be necessarily told too much how to play. I want to be able to learn, figure it out myself. And I think that's one of the reasons why I like, the Battlefront series, I like Dragon Age, like RPGs, because I can play really how I want. And, when it comes to, like, Outlast or Fatal Frame or anything like that, it's very, you gotta pretty much do this to get by. And I'm like, alright, well, I could. Is there any maybe way I could, I don't know.
Speaking of third person, real quick, before we switch topics, because we're already at 30 minutes.
Oh, boy.
What are your thoughts on Monster Hunter? Have you played those?
I did. Oh, wait, Monster Hunter. I was thinking about Evolve for some reason.
Oh.
What is that? That was a game.
I remember Evolve.
I remember
that. I remember the hype around that game, and then
it was big. It didn't live up to it. I did like it, but not that much.
Yeah. I remember playing Monster Hunter 3 or Try, however the hell you pronounce it, on my DS, and it was really fun. And there was a lot of customization options on that. So honestly, I was thinking about trying one of the newer Monster Hunters.
We'll get it. I'll get it too.
I think they're on Game Pass too. Try it.
I will. I have to get Game Pass. I know, but
it's $1.
I know. It's $1 for the first month.
Yes.
$1 does not mean $1 forever.
I know, but at least a month will get you by.
It'll get me by until the next month I have to pay it.
Whatever.
That's how rent works. That's how upkeep of anything works.
It pays for itself, okay?
It doesn't pay for itself. I pay for it.
If you get Ultimate and you get something like this and you can play it on PC, you get Ultimate on PC too.
I can't argue with that logic. I'll look into it.
Oh my god, trust me.
I want to play these games. Nice. I do. It's always been a money thing because games can run you dry a little bit.
Yeah.
But I want to play more, like Monster Hunter.
Especially with day one releases going on Game Pass sometimes.
Yep, I need to get with the times. I need to get with the times. It's.
Anyway, so yes. I think we
passed the.
Yeah. No. Anyway, we want to know.
Say it.
What are your favorite games in the first-person category and the third-person category? It can be both. It can be either one.
Let's see.
And
for both, I would have to give first-person shooter. You know what? Let's swing it back to Call. I've been really getting into Call of Duty, but I would probably say that's one of my favorite. It's really tough because there's replayability, but there's also games where I'm just like, I could play a little bit of it, and I'd be incredibly satisfied with it.
Yeah.
And that's Overwatch. I like Overwatch very much for first person.
Do you think that would benefit from a third person perspective too?
I
think the gameplay might be okay.
There's not enough people. That's the thing. If there's third person, I feel like there's got to be a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
For you to really work that out. But like I think it works just fine as a first person. I don't think it really needs a third person.
Okay.
You could probably make it work, but I think you can make anything work with either. But
yeah,
I think it just depends on what you want out of it. So first person, I'm if I had to change it from like a massively multiplayer, which is like Battlefront or Call of Duty, it would have to be Overwatch. Just because it doesn't have like a story mode or anything, but it's still really fun because it's got that strategy I was telling you about. Which, teamwork. I got really into it for a good year. It did pretty well. Third person, it would have to go between. If I had to do multiplayer and a non-multiplayer, Dead by Daylight, just because again, team strategy, very fun, very replayable. For like a offline, I would have to say either Knights of the Republic or Dragon Age. You know what? And I will actually swing more towards Dragon Age on that one, like as a series as a whole, just because it's pretty fun.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So,
although I do very much like Knights of the Republic.
How? Valid point.
Yep. How about yourself? What's rolling?
Oh man. Well, FPS or first person rather. First person, and it also really depends on the kind of game you want to play. Maybe I'm feeling Call of Duty one day. Next day, maybe I'm feeling Minecraft. Right?
Like how we're not giving real answers. We're just like, I like this one, yet I also like these.
Yeah. Well, first person, I'm just gonna go ahead and anybody who knows me in real life knows I'm gonna say this, but I'm gonna say Black Ops 1.
Great.
Oh man, I don't know.
Fantastic.
Halo 2 is up there too.
That's very replayable. Honestly,
I'm gonna go with Halo 2 actually, and then Black Ops 1 is my second.
I replayed Halo 2 more than probably any other game I've ever replayed. I don't know because I know Battlefront was one I played for a very long time, but I think on a day by day span, like how long I played it, I played Halo for so long.
Because there's so much to do in that game.
I know. I know nearly all the
mods. Ways. And then not only that, but finding the skulls in that game.
Oh,
it's so much fun.
I know so many. Like I would dare to say I know damn near every single like glitch on that thing. Like it's just how I spent my time.
Yeah.
Instead of like dating, I was like, oh no, Halo 2.
Halo 2 glitches.
Oh yeah, and Delta Halo was like there was my favorite one. And I'm sure it's been discovered by now, but it was like when we were like 12. I remember bragging to you like, oh, I found this way to jump on the hills. Like think about this. I jumped at walls for hours just trying to find any sort of like clip that I could jump, like little pixel I could jump on, and I did because I had nothing to do. And so I did, and I found like ways to like walk on the mountain ranges.
Yeah.
I found like these like sky ponds that were literally just ponds but made of sky, like with a tree in the middle of it. Like, why?
I remember you showing me some of those.
Yeah, and I showed you, and I don't think I ever showed anyone else. I feel like I should have like gotten a video of it or something. Like back then, I'm sure it was like new and like man, should have showed somebody.
I think I'm gonna go with my third person. I'm gonna say Elmo's Letter Adventure.
Yes, that game. Oh my god, that hit so hard back in the day.
The replayability.
I replayed that motherfucker.
It's so good, and the character. Not only that, but like the story. It's really story driven, and I think the character development throughout the story really
the character building.
You think Elmo is gonna go one way and save his best friend. But then he actually stabs him in the back and goes and gets the Z instead of the A.
If you go to like the renegade, if you go to the renegade route, then it's pretty metal.
And not only that, but the skill tree and the vehicular. Wow, I can't speak. The vehicular levels are just outstanding. I mean, like basically every game they force you into a vehicular level.
Yeah.
The one in Elmo's Letter Adventure is probably one of the most
it's one of the most
in depth and easy, but like easy to learn, hard to master kind of levels, and it's really good.
They made the number adventure a little more casual for like newer gamers, sort of just getting introduced to the series. Mm-hmm. But I think it does have some very strong aspects to it. I thought there was a little with the executions. I think there was a little bit subtle. Like they didn't offer many. They only really had like 2. Yeah, and that was the one where he just kind of grabbed someone with the from behind, just kind of like ripped their spine out. Like there was that one, and then there was the torque bow execution. Yeah, they had that. It was actually It was actually part of a crossover that they had.
Well, I think it was in Elmo before it was in Gears.
It was in Elmo before it was Gears.
Yeah, I think so.
I would say it's really it's still a very solid game.
Yeah, I'd give it like the Letter Adventure. I would say is like a 7, maybe 8 out of 10. The numbers though, I'd probably drop it down to maybe 6.5.
You know, that's fair. It's a fair assessment. I really hope that when they remake it next year, that they're gonna sort of keep to the original gameplay, but like add some more content. You know, I want some more skins besides like when Elmo was like wearing the face of like the Count after the dark ending, like the evil ending. Like maybe we keep that. We workshopped a little bit, so we have like that skin. Yeah, like sort of the callback for the ending of the first game. You know, that's. What are we talking about?
I don't know. Anyway, this is where we pass it off to you, the listener. Do you have a preference on third person or first person? Let us know on our socials, and I think we're gonna leave it there. And also, I guess, let us know what your favorite first person or third person game is. We'd love to hear from you. Isn't that right, JD?
Yeah, sure.
So we'll leave it there. We're going to take a short break, but next we're going to talk about the modding community for a little bit. And
the real heroes, the unsung heroes of the gaming.
Unsung heroes of the gaming industry. So we're going to take a short break. Grab a drink if you'd like. Grab a snack or whatever. Or do whatever you like. Take a piss. And we'll be back here in a minute.
Day drinking it is.
All right, welcome back. Split Screen Podcast, episode 4. I'm your host, Chris Garcia. I'm still joined with JD Wellborn Robin.
JonnySpells
now. JonnySpells. And we're back on episode 4 of the Split Screen Podcast. I just repeated myself, but we're going to do it again. If you guys want to leave suggestions for topics or leave comments about things that we say, or you want to leave your own personal thoughts on what we're talking about, you can follow us on Facebook, SplitScreen Podcast. We're also on Instagram, Twitter. Both of those are at SplitScreenKC. Give us a follow.
Or if you agree that the guest should also have a comfy chair, you know, it's like.
If you guys want to donate money to us, so we can give JD a comfortable chair, or the guest, whoever guest that we have on, we can give them a comfy chair instead of one of my flimsy ass kitchen chairs.
Don't know what that stain is.
It could be anything.
It could be.
So, first topic, if I don't know how you'd miss it unless you just happen to perfectly skip to part 2. We talked about the differences in our preferences and the pluses and minuses of first-person games versus third-person games. So next, we're going to talk about the modding community and JD is primarily going to take the lead on this, but I guess the first thing that I'll address, it's actually the second bullet point over there, is what would you say are some benefits and drawbacks, if you can think of any, from the modding community?
All right, listen here, sir.
Educate me, please.
If I were to educate you on this, the first thing you got to bring up is obviously you mod because you want to keep things fresh. You want to keep things a little new, you know?
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, some people use it for mainly skins. Some people use it for gameplay. I mean, some people just to make the game easier, harder. I mean, there's a plethora of reasons you would want to do it. But one of the drawbacks that oppose that pro is that it can sort of sap away the idea of playing it without mods. Mm-hmm. Now, if you haven't modded a game, that won't make sense really. But imagine playing like Skyrim, and it's a great game. It's a fun game, especially for the time. Very good, very replayable. But then if you decide to change something about it, like update the graphics, or maybe add in a Dark Souls rolling mechanic to it, and then try going back to playing originally, it can feel a little, underwhelming. And I think that's sort of the big thing about mods, that once you start, it's kind of hard to stop. But why would you stop? Because it's kind of fun. It's fun. I mean, it's...
There's so many mods, too. And
some games desperately need it. I'm sorry for interrupting, but some games 100% desperately need it. And it's to make up for, like, sort of a lack of... We'll say, I respect the game developers very much, because it's a very hard job, but a lot of times there are some shortcomings that need to kind of be remedied by mods, and that's where I feel like like the Skyrim, that one all over mod they had, was it Sky UI, I think? But it basically just fixed all like the little bugs they had. It updated the graphics, updated the gameplay a little bit, and that's 100% necessary. If you don't want crashes, if you don't want like bugs or anything, that's the way to go. Or like game-ending glitches. And
that too. I mean, a lot of it can be cosmetic.
I feel very strongly about it.
and a lot of it can be adding in weapons that you would never be able to see in that game. Like I've seen so many just out of place mods that are hilarious at the same time. Like there was I don't remember what game it was. I'm sure it's in several by now, but there was a weapon that would shoot like, I don't know if it was like dynamite or whatever, but it would play dubstep in the process of doing so.
Dubstep gun?
Probably, something like that.
That's
and it was hilarious to see. Okay. It was hilarious to see. I don't know.
It's good because like it can really add a new experience to like a game you already loved. It's very, very cool thing. It's a very cool thing, and Skyrim is the biggest one I could think of that I've modded, because it's such a very simple base game in a very interesting world that if you wanted to alter it, it wouldn't seem out of place really. Like, but if you wanted to, you could make it out of place. It's for it's for gaming kings and gamer jesters alike. You can put Macho Man to Randy Savage, or you can add like updated Imperial like armor, or you can add Star Wars stuff to it. It's so few and far between.
I just want to say that when you popped your knuckles, it picked it up.
Did it?
And it made like just a straight line.
It's not very ladylike.
But anyway, so I would say I would definitely be interested, because I've never modded. I'm just going to say it out loud. I've never done anything like that before. I would really like to do it for the cosmetic purposes. I'm sure there's really fun gameplay as well to be experienced through mods.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and hilarious videos have been made with mods.
Go PC. I will say go PC.
Yes. And so I will... can you think of an experience that you've had with modding have you done one of those out of place things before? Where it's like it didn't really fit into the game, or let's say like Luigi was in Grand Theft Auto 5 or something like that. Have you ever done something along those lines where you put something in it that just doesn't belong there and it's just strictly for just to have fun?
Yeah, there was a Left 4 Dead one where I saw one of my favorite YouTubers a long time ago, like were Oni.
Mm-hmm.
You know Oni plays?
I have, yes. Or I know they are.
And I remember they played Left 4 Dead with Teletubbies.
Oh yeah,
and I thought that was
I do
hilarious, so I tried it out, and it's actually just as fun as it sounds like it looks. It really is. Other than that, in Skyrim, we're going back there again. I added a. It was just straight up adding like guns to Skyrim. Okay. I thought that was pretty fun for a little bit. And I added like lightsabers. I added I actually added like mech suits in there once. It's pretty cool.
It does sound cool.
You can do whatever you want. That's what's so cool. I added like some Naruto stuff. I added some Star Wars stuff, and it's just, to me, I was like, it doesn't ruin it for me. It just kind of is a fun, more different way to play the game. But then after that, after that point exactly, I could not go back to playing normal.
Yeah, I've heard that.
No
that
way
argument.
I could.
So let's switch gears here for a second. Let's talk about the mods that Savage uses.
The booby mods.
I'm just kidding.
Can I say boobies on?
Yeah, you can say that. That's fine.
Boobies, okay.
Dude, it's so hilarious. Like when some people think of mods, the first thing they think of is, I'm gonna give myself a jetpack or something, or I'm gonna make this character. I'm gonna make my character look like this person from a different series or whatever. Sometimes it's that. Other times it's I'm gonna fix the bugs in a game, or I'm gonna add. Maybe I'm gonna make my own level or something like I'll bring that up in a second. Or, they just add something new to the game. And then there's those mods where it just completely brings out the fetishizes women and things like that.
Women, men, everybody, really.
Anybody,
Lizards.
really, yes. Oh my gosh. Dragons, you name it.
Hey, that's for intellectuals, good sir. That's nothing wrong with that.
Everybody saw it coming with the new Resident Evil.
Oh, Lady was it Dimitrescu? I can't even say her name. That's weird.
I can never pronounce the name, but oh my gosh. I saw
they had to know what they were doing, man. Come on. It's one of those things that kind of came out of nowhere. Like, it just hit big for everybody.
Yes.
And I'm not surprised.
A
9-foot woman, like Thickums woman.
Oh my gosh. And it's like, you don't need that.
Don't step on me. Like, I don't want you to step on me, but like, hey, let's go out to like a nice, reasonably priced dinner. Let's do this right.
It's just like,
I'm ready to be a stepfather to those 3 vampire kids. That's fine.
Do you because that came out basically as soon as the game was out, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's like, how do they make it so fast? How do they make it so quick?
They could have been working on it for a while. I mean, but I should say that the way that technology kind of works, like with making games especially, is that the more you have... Like earlier, it was kind of a lot of work to make video games. Like, Nintendo 64 versus like Xbox versus 360. Gradually, as like technology becomes like easier to use and more advanced, it helps us create more advanced things on top of it, which and then, help us create even more. So it's kind of like a very steep line going up. Like it's so like games are kind of, anyone can really make a game now. It's really not very difficult, but I think that they might have at least probably started for a couple of years.
It's just it's hilarious to see. It's hilarious to see what mods come out, and so the modding community in general brings a lot of plus side to the gaming industry, especially.
Yeah.
I mean, do they charge for mods?
That is the thing. It's like the mods. Okay, so modders very unappreciated. These people, these heroes, they get nothing out of it. They really don't. They can become quote unquote official mods. Like we're talking like Captain America versus Iron Man. Like let's get these guys on the payroll. Like they can do that, but they're kind of limited on what they can make though. Yeah. So their kind of creativity is a little stifled. Plus they get paid. They get paid a little bit for it, but they also get I think maybe a little more than half of the money that they would make. I think the actual company takes.
Okay.
So I don't quote me on that. I don't really know exactly how it works. I just know that they kind of split profits a little bit.
Okay.
But why modders are like heroes is because when they made Skyrim, they were like, this is really cool, but like wait until the modders get a hold of it. Mm-hmm. Like, because they will do it right. They did. They fix bugs. They do all these things that no one asked them to do, but it's because just for the pure love of gaming.
Yeah.
And, just to make this game better, they did it. They do it. They continue to do it. Now, it's great. But on the other hand, when we get to more of the whole... We're not like DLC, pay to play. When we get to the whole, we just need to get this out now type deal.
Mm-hmm.
They sort of rely on modders to make the game viable in a way. And I think that it's good, because like we have the people who can do it, but it's bad that we have to rely on free labor to do it. Right. And like it's like a necessary evil.
And it's funny because, and that kind of brings up a point that I was going to bring up anyway. I remember a time. Maybe I misviewed this. I'm not sure, but I remember a time where developers and studios and publishers really didn't like when people modded their games. Is that true? Did they ever dislike it?
Well, I mean, it depends on what's an example you're talking about, or just acting in general.
I mean, like,
do they not like it when people mod their games?
I mean, maybe I was wrong. I don't know.
No, I mean, no. It's a real question.
Yeah. And, was there a time where developers didn't want people to mod their games because
for profit? No, no one's ever liked that.
Yeah.
But for anything other than that, I mean, I guess it's pretty much covered under. It's the idea of freedom of speech. Like you can take what they had and you can make whatever parody you want of it if you want to do it. Like people have Mario. I remember when I was playing Battlefront, I've seen like straight up Mario Darth Vaders and stuff like, and like it doesn't offend me.
Yeah.
Well, at one point I'm like, oh, okay, I kind of want to fight a regular Darth Vader. But like, it doesn't hurt anybody. Like, it's people sort of expressing themselves. As long as they're not like making a profit or screwing other people over on it, then I'm sure that's fine. Yeah. I mean, you cannot mod like back in the arcade days. Mm-hmm. No, you could not. No, that was frowned upon. You could do that. I didn't know that. You could mod those. Yeah, I found out you could. Yeah. And so yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I can think about if there was any problems with it. If anything, I think game developers would say like, "Wow, that's really good."
Yeah.
And actually, a lot of times, that's how they get recruited. Is they see the mods they make. Like my favorite one is like In-A Scion or something. I can't really say his name very well, and to spell it would probably be a crime. But he makes these incredibly like detailed mods for Skyrim, and he actually became on the payroll, I believe. Mm-hmm. And he made like these like griffin mods, these like troll mods, like these incredible nature mods, like realistic wilderness where the animals have kids and the kids they grow up and incredibly detailed, right?
Yeah.
And I think that the people are just more impressed by like how much work they're willing to put in, and like we need to get this. It's like someone like this working for us.
Yeah.
And so I think that's kind of where
and that's where
they meet.
And that's what I was gonna go into, because I know some modders have been hired by developers and things like that for their efforts. And I've also noticed that some, let's say they make a whole different level, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes those levels or aspects from those levels can make it into the actual game later on, such as, what was it, Coldstream for Left 4 Dead?
Coldstream,
very
famous.
Fan made?
Yep, fan made.
And then they actually put it into the game. Mm-hmm. That was very interesting. I think they might have done something else recently that was also maybe made by the fans. I'm not sure, but I know for sure that Coldstream was made by the fans, basically.
Oh yeah, and just goes to show you, like they listen sometimes.
Yeah,
they keep an eye on us. Like I won't say that they're perfect. Like EA, just for someone like that, just recently to take me off lately. Mm-hmm. Maybe a little bit of BioWare, but but no, it's they keep an ear to the ground. At least sometimes they do, and they want to sort of make the gaming industry better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
By getting content from the fans. I should have finished that sentence.
Oh, okay.
Like getting it from the fans. Yeah.
So I'll ask you this too. These are just kind of like ending questions, I guess. Sure. If you could have a mod in a game that you haven't experienced yet, what would if you can make your own mod?
I could make my own,
what
mod,
would you do?
I guess it depends for what game, but if I could make a mod, it might be for there was this one on Skyrim I thought was really cool, and it was one for a legacy system, and I remember it was kind of like talked about for a while, and it was like you have a character. And it was, and this, I'm assuming we're talking our wildest dreams, right?
Yes.
So, jumping off that one, wilderness one, where sort of the wilderness evolves with you a little bit.
Yeah.
It's the idea of this legacy system of, like, you create a character, you, maybe you can do whatever, like, get married or, like, be an adventurer, you grow in age and scar, a little bit like Fable. And eventually, like, you could die, and then you would have to either, like, maybe create a new character, or if you had a son, you'd play as a son. You'd kind of continue on, and maybe the world, like, this is my wildest dreams, like, from, like, when I was, like, 16, looking at this legacy mod, I think, and I was like, dude, this would be a cool idea. Like, the world sort of evolving with you a little bit, so it can change the gameplay every now and then. Now, obviously, that'll be very difficult to make.
Yes.
But as, like, a dream?
Yep. Yes.
No, that sounds interesting. Other than that, I mean, it'd probably be, like, something like this crazy Mandalorian war, like, classic Battlefront. Classic Battlefront 2. It would have to be like this crazy Mandalorian war mod or something like that.
That would be interesting.
If you ever played, because it kind of that would combine my love of like Knights of the Republic, Empire at War, and Battlefront, like all in one game.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, no, it has to be. I have to change my answer. That would be sick. Can you imagine it? Like a real-time strategy, like, no, maybe not real-time strategy, but like a strategy where you're like controlling like planets, and then you create army reserves, and you invade other ones like from like ships, also to ground. So like air to ground, or like space to ground. Like that sounds cool. That sounds rad.
That does sound cool. You should get on that.
I should get on that. I just need to learn coding and just.
You can go Skull Savage.
Hey, if this is my wildest dreams. I can do what I want.
All right. I mean, I've never used. I could never. I don't really know what to think of a mod. I mean, I don't even know what I would want.
Do you want a helmet? Do you want like a cooler helmet?
I'll make it to where I'm actually in a game. I'll put my face on just some freaking ripped ass body and just go ham everywhere I go. I don't know what I would put myself on.
Ham to ham, cheek to cheek. Just
hey, if a game exists and there's a male protagonist, I'm there. Put my face on a female protagonist. I don't care.
I'm gonna put you on Sonic from Sonic Adventures.
Yes, you put me as Sonic or Tails or Knuckles or Amy.
That
Amy would be interesting. I think
you really want to be Amy, don't you?
No, I never liked Amy.
Your furry showing.
I never liked Amy to begin with.
Yeah.
She was always kind of annoying.
She's loyal.
She is loyal, though. I'll give her that. She's a real one. And she saved Sonic.
She's no Rouge, but...
She's not Rouge.
Bat with tits, but pardon me.
Okay, so... and you kind of already delved into this. Your favorite mod that you've ever...
Oh, yeah. My favorite mod that I've ever downloaded... for sure it'd have to be the Skyrim Ordinator. I think it was called Ordinator, which it revamped all the perks in there. Most of my mods are like for Skyrim.
Yeah,
because I just spent so much time on that but it changes the game. The whole that whole if I need to get the name, I wish I could remember his name, but he came out with an entire line of just like mods that completely remake the game, like the fighting system, spells, interactions. Like he just completely revamped it, and I just thought it was very well done. It all worked very well together.
So would you?
It was Apocalypse. Sorry, it was like Apocalypse, Ordinator, Morning Star. I think is what I used for the races of Skyrim. I can't remember, but I think it was that one. Sorry, continue. I interrupted.
Sorry. So would you? Are the custom zombies maps considered mods, or are those just like?
Oh yeah, of course. If anyone, as long as you make content and inject it into the game, it is a mod. Pretty much, it's a modification.
See, I know nothing about mods. That's why
It's a modification. Oh man, but those are really good because there's like the Toy Story zombies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anything you can think of, it's probably been done in zombies.
Yeah.
And they even added like Call of Duty 4 weapons. They eventually added like Black Ops weapons and
the Family Guy one was pretty
funny.
The
World War, the Family Guy was hilarious. They have SpongeBob ones that are just hilarious to watch.
You know what? I feel like I should say. I do think though if there's one thing the modding community could like improve on is sort of making it more available to the casual gamer, because now I don't consider myself a casual really. That's and it's sort of modding, gaming tends to be like the get good, like you're either good no one or you're not, but. I think it'd be cooler if they made it easier for like the casual gamer, like because they sort of added it on Xbox, like they put modding for like Fallout, Skyrim, some other games, but like they sort of limited what you could do, and also limited the games you could have, and also didn't really make it as easy to understand really. So I think if they could really change that, if they could sort of make console modding more applicable, then it would open up the window for all of them. Maybe get content creators more jobs, or
that's true
if they want. But I think if you start working for a company, you're gonna sort of give up your freedom. That's like just how it works. But it'd be nice. It'd be nice to have some sort of steps being taken soon.
Any closing points?
Any
recommendations for anybody?
Recommendations for
I don't know.
Just anything.
Anything could be anything. You can, as long as it's about mods, I guess. Do you have any? Maybe I don't know what I would say about mods. Honestly, I don't do it.
No, I mean
I should.
Mod. Don't go. I would say don't go crazy. I guess. Like, definitely keep a list of what you're doing, because, like, once one mod doesn't work, it can conflict with so many others, and you have to go in individually and try and find what was the one thing that kind of tore down the Jenga tower. What was that one light that wasn't working that kept the others from shining? And that's... So be careful with that, because you'll have to start all over again.
Well, I mean, we're at half hour again. I think that's good. I mean, like I said, I know nothing about the gaming industry or the modding community, but we're two guys who have a passion for games, right? And we love to play them in our spare time and discuss them, which is why we have this.
And we mainly play as female characters. That's just the kind of guys we are.
That's true. I've always done that.
Yep.
But anyway, I guess we'll pass the question off to the audience. What are your guys' favorite mods that you've ever used in your favorite video games? And do you have any recommendations for us to try out on any games?
Oh, for sure. Always looking for more recommendations.
Especially JD. He's always looking for more. So if you have any suggestions, you can leave them in the comments section, or you can leave them in the comments section on our Facebooks, or you can tweet us, or leave a comment on Instagram at SplitScreenKC. And we'd love to hear your feedback on that. Other than that, leave us more suggestions and topics to follow and discuss on future episodes. Who knows? Maybe we'll pick your episode. Maybe we won't.
Probably not.
But hey, maybe we'll get to it. So I just want to say thank you to JD for joining
Always
the
a pleasure.
show today. I needed a guest badly.
Oh.
And it was an honor to have you on the show. I knew I was going to have you on at some point, just wasn't sure when. So we're glad we're able to do it today. Thank you for joining us. Your insights are always valued.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yes, brother.
Hell yes, brother.
And yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, hulking out.
Hulking out.
Well,
So yeah,
get some more water, brother. Some more Bud Light.
some more drinks on the house.
Some more orange sassy.
Anyway, thank you to JD. Thank you to you, the listener. Hope you guys have a lovely day. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Wear a mask. Do all that good stuff.
Wipe your ass. I love you.
And general tip is flushable wipes
Are not always flushable.
are not always flushable.
They aren't.
Just keep that in
Ruin
mind.
your pipes.
They really do ruin your pipes. So if you're
I've had
using your flushable wipes, just throw them in the trash can.
Just throw them in the trash. Come
Just throw 'em
on,
in the trash
take it
can.
out. Just
Yeah.
do your laundry all in one go. Don't make a set time for it. It'll pile up, and then you'll have to wait on a load, and then it'll be
Yes.
kind of off for the next couple of weeks until you set aside a day to really get it done.
Yeah. And
And you
also
won't.
pick up your trash. Don't litter.
Don't litter.
Don't
I'll
litter.
say don't litter.
Especially
It's not worth it.
if they're cigarette butts. Throw those bitches
Have
out.
some class.
Throw those bitches out. Nobody likes to see cigarette butts on the floor. Anyway, that's off topic. Just stay
That's on
safe.
topic.
Stay clean.
The earth is the only topic, Chris.
That's
You're
true.
living on
That's
it.
true. That's right. Stay safe. Stay clean. Wash your hands. Wear a mask. Get vaccinated. All that shit.
Pet a seal.
And we'll see you guys in episode 5. Who knows what we're going to talk about then, but we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for listening. Have a good day. See you next time. Bye.